After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 402. My name is Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I am Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Today is Saturday, May 16, 2020, as we are recording, and we want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Foon and the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad to have you with us. We're glad you found us, and we hope you find something that will bring you back. If you are returning, we're always glad to have you with us again. And if you are in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, that little subscribe button on your right, and press the little bell so you can get notifications. And if you want to take part in all the alongs and the giveaways and all when we have discounts in our shop and things like that, then you need to be part of the group, and that is at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. It's free. All you have to do is tell us you want to enter, and we'll let you in. Okay? Or one of the moderators will let you in. All right? Okay.
Then it's tea time.
Tea time.
And you're first because you have more projects.
Okay. I don't have anything really exciting.
And you don't have anything really exciting.
It's in my, this is what my daughter's head looks like. It's an oboe head. Oboe, for those of you who are new. It's a long-standing joke. Family joke.
I actually wrote a short story about what that actually means.
Yes, I love that. I'm going to have to put that somewhere because it's funny. But anyway, this is my chai tea because I'm not sick, but my stomach is cranky. So I'm having this today because this is my comfort thing. Comfort tea.
Davina and Mom both, whenever something's a little bit off, their stomachs tend to, even if they're stressed or if there's even a slight...
Or if I have too much cheese.
Right.
Because I love dairy cheese. But
okay, so last week I got plumbed a...
Oh, is this what's in there?
Yes!
Okay. I thought you were going right into...
No, I am going ahead and I'm talking about my tea.
Because apparently whatever's ailing my stomach is also ailing my brain.
Well, the way to someone's... Well, it's their heart, but I guess the way your brain is to your stomach... I don't know. Made sense somehow? Not really?
No.
Tea. Tea. So I got this last week. I wasn't sure how I'd like it initially because it was peach, which tends to be a bit more of a subtle taste. And I was afraid it would be too subtle for me. I actually really love it.
It's a great... She let me taste it a couple days ago. It's really good.
It's Sweet Georgia Peach Herbal Tea, making every day feel easier. It's Rubio's tea, green Rubio's, peach pieces, peach, maple, and walnut essences, calendula, love, and gratitude. And I think because I also really love maple and a lot of the nutty flavors. Now, obviously, if you have a nut allergy, you can't have this. I don't know about any other allergy. You know, some people can handle the flowers or whatever, but this is a really good tea.
Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent, excellent.
And I am very grateful that I don't have any issues with nuts. Yeah, God, no issues with the nuts, please.
Yeah. And that's absolutely amazing tea.
Oh, it's really good.
That's okay.
Oh, yes, right, you. Oh, this is
usually
really
I
good.
would, but and no, I'm not contagious, but just no, can't risk that. Okay. Moving on.
I think I'm wearing the same shirt as last time.
I don't know.
We kind of matched in the same like drab blah color.
Stormtrooper gray. And they're
Stormtroopers are white,
but I think of gray.
I mean, I think there's a version that's a little bit more gray, but I think that's more the officers in the
and I think
Stormtroopers.
it's also, yeah, and I think it's also just the general atmosphere. When I think of Darth Vader music and all that, they're white, but I think of gray. It's you know, maybe it's a mixture of Darth Vader black and the Stormtrooper white. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of somber.
This is Master Chief, so way cool.
Yes,
Halo.
Halo, very cool. Okay, moving on. Still haven't pulled for the 400 member giveaway. I'm going to be trying to use the post office. There's a way that you can do it from home, so I'm going to try it with something that's I can replace if necessary, and if that goes through, then I'll start sending things out from home. Okay, so that's, and then we'll talk about the 400 member giveaway and stuff like that. I just, I've said it before the last 2 or 3 podcasts, but for those who are new, I just don't want to risk going to the post office right now. Okay.
Yeah, they're slowly but surely opening things up.
Right. But they are saying that if you feel that you should stay home, you should, and given the circumstances, I feel like we should, so we kind of keep it to curbside and doctor appointments for her and that kind of stuff. So in fact, they were opening our church, and I called the office over there to talk to the priest, and actually I had to email them because the office is still closed. We're starting masses again, but I asked, given our situation, she said, no, you're dispensed. We're dispensed regardless, but I am the way I am. I have to hear it from a priest, and so they said, no, we're dispensed. So I miss going to communion, but oh well. I go to Mass online. Anyway, moving on. I have a new podcast to talk about. It's new to me. You probably might be aware of it. This is called So Woolly. It's a podcast, and as far as I can see, what interests me about her, it's brand new to me. She does a lot of instructional videos. And is
it podcast plus instructional videos, or is it more instructional videos?
I'm not sure because I just found it.
Okay.
The things I've watched are instructional videos because they pop up. And
because there are plenty of people who that's what they do is instructional videos.
And in fact, I actually went to her website and I get emails from her now. She's very, I think she's from either South America or Spain or something like that. She speaks English, but she has a very sweet accent. It's very easy to understand her. And she has a nice way of instructing you that's very clear. So I wanted to give her a shout out.
But it is good to mention the accent because not everyone has the same accent literacy because you did grow up with someone with a Colombian accent. So your literacy for accents might be different than someone else's literacy.
Right. It's true, but also this is different than her accent. So she's easy, which is why I'm saying that it's easy to understand because it's different from my mom's accent.
But I just thought I should probably throw that in there because that could influence.
Absolutely. But you should check her out. She does crochet. Yeah. She does crochet and knit. I thought she only did crochet, but she does crochet and knit. And she does patterns. She has a website. She has tutorials. She's doing one right now that I found interesting on gauge swatching and how to determine how much yarn you need for a project and all this. It's very, very interesting, especially if you're thinking about designing. So she doesn't watch us because she doesn't know we exist, but I wanted to give her a shout out in her podcast. Alrighty then. Let's move into the alongs. Okay. Our charity long, PHN Charity Cal Cal Lao 2020 is going strong. It is halfway through, I guess. Yep, halfway through because we have about, this is the end of May. No, it's middle of May. So we had to the end of June before we pull for the second quarter. So yeah, we're almost halfway through. And I love all the projects. I'm looking at them. I don't comment on a lot of them right now because apparently I don't know how to manage my time properly. So I'm very, very happy about our moderators, Brenna, Patty, and there's one more, Valeria, right?
Yes.
Valeria. And then our quasi-moderators who are unofficial, like Sylvie and a couple other people, who are
around and answering things as they feel that they can help.
And they are very helpful. And our members are our foot soldier members, the ones who keep us running, you know, are also amazing. Our group is absolutely fantastic, as I said many times.
It's fun to see them go up in our, because we have a ranking system that goes up by number of posts. So automatically people who tend to help a lot tend to go up because they post more. So I think Renna should be.
But Renna is, she doesn't go up because she's a moderator. But if you look at someone like Sylvie, when she's active,
I think she might be. I know Linnea's a knight.
Yes, Linnea posts a lot.
I'm not sure where Sylvie's at because it's been a little bit. But we have a ranking, and it's fun to see people's ranking change.
And it's not a ranking that you're at this level because we are
No, it's more like it's fun because you get to see a title change.
Yeah, and it's done by the site, not by us.
Yeah, not by us. I just have it set where it says number of posts. You get a name change.
It starts at like pawn. And
yeah,
then
it's pawn,
squire, knight,
royalty.
Royalty. Okay, because I don't know because I'm an administrator moderator. I don't.
Well, yeah, she. What did I have for you? Because I'm oboe head.
Yeah, you have me mom or something like that.
I didn't think it was something as simple as that.
It was. Yeah, I think you said mom.
I'll look it up.
But anyway, so let me get going with this here. She can interrupt us when we get to that. I'm going to do the rules for this along, and then when I get to the other alongs, I will just not go through all the rules, but the rules that are specific to that along. So this is January through December.
You are, Mom.
Yeah. This is January through December, and it's for charity, okay? The projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted with the exception of the masks, okay?
Which can be sewn.
Sewn, yeah, they can be sewn, and
they should be sewn.
They should be sewn. These, it looks like this is going to be for the long haul. This coronavirus, they're saying that there's going to be a second wave come fall, so this is going to be it for the long haul. So
and this is anticipating. They can't
tell.
Look into the future.
But my point is, as long as this thing is going on and there is a need, and this along is still going, we will be accepting these masks in the charity along for 2 chances at a prize. But I'll get to that later for their finished objects, okay? Previous whips are allowed. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread. All charity projects will be accepted. Baby items, masks, anything in a Franciscan Gypsy design, Lady Fernicle Creations shawl, Laura Concert design, Lady Fernicle Creations yarn, or Laura Concert's yarn, which is Lollipop Girls. Those are all 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. And if you do one of those featured yarns with a featured pattern for charity, or for the Hat Not Hate, or not for the masks, you get 3 chances at a prize, okay? And you are responsible for your own multiple postings. It's hashtag PHN 2020 on Instagram, and actually it's hashtag PHN Charity 2020 on Instagram. I think Rena set it up for us, or she was the first one to post when I set it up. So she's got that covered for us, okay? The prizes that you guys are working for this quarter, one is a knit baby book and one is Croy Socks FX yarn. That's 2 skeins in the cadet colorway, which I believe is a blue. I'm not positive. Donated by Mama C, who's Christina. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Okay. The next Cal is the Lady Fernicle Creations Cal Lal, and you have to the end of this month, so you have approximately 2 more weeks. I love all the stuff that's showing up. Some of it's bright, some of it's mystery skeins, some of it's, not mystery skeins, and all the projects are absolutely phenomenal. I think I just love seeing it.
And when this ends, like we've been saying over and over again, I just still want to bring it up. When this thread ends and Mom sends off all those prizes, then there will be a thread that'll be her yarn / pattern and my patterns, just a place where you could show it off, and we might occasionally pull something from there, but it's really meant for show off.
Right, it's a show
just because we do like seeing your stuff, and it gives you a chance to get them in the beginning of the podcast, because I do like to show those in the beginning of the podcast.
Right, so that's excuse me, good to know. All right, now the Lady Fernicle Creations Cal Lao ends May 31st. All right, and this was developed for those of you who are new. You still have time to do something in it. Smaller projects if you want. Just make sure that they are 50 grams or less, that you do 2 projects at the same, not 50 grams, 50 yards or less. Make sure that you have 2 projects in there for the prize eligibility for the finished object. This one was done to say thank you for everybody who has supported Talia in her illness by buying mystery skeins, and B, supported my shop. So the mystery skeins, well, let's start from the beginning. Okay, normal price is about knit, crochet, loom knit, okay, and all that stuff, whips and all that. But the difference is, this is only my yarn, okay? If it is my yarn that is just a plain Lady Fernicle Creations yarn that you bought because you wanted to buy it, thank you very much, that is 1 chance at a prize for a finished object, okay? If it is the mystery skein that you bought to help support Talia, that's 2 chances at a prize for the finished object, okay? If you use my skein of yarn, just a regular skein of yarn, and one of the featured patterns, which is always my pattern or Talia's, then, and for this one it's just mine, Talia's, then it's 2 chances at a prize. But if you use a mystery skein for one of the featured patterns, that's 3 chances at a prize, okay? And it's in the threads. Now, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you can ask us.
And it's in the threads.
Yeah. And this is hashtag Lady for Nickel Creations, C/K/LAL 2020 on Instagram. If I had been smart, I would have just done LFC. But
Well, you know, smart.
yeah. Hindsight is 2020. Okay. And as far as I know right now, the prizes, we have that beautiful little owl bag that I bought from Ann Brody. It's a cute little bag. In fact, Davina was like, "Mom, you're not keeping it?" No, I wanted to, but no. It's going to you guys, and there might be another prize.
You even already have the fabric, I think.
I don't think so.
I thought you did.
I thought I did, but I think I decided not to buy that particular one.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. I have to look at it.
You have so many owl bags.
I don't have any owl bags. No owl bags at all. Anyway, okay, so that's, you know, there may be another prize that may be a skein of my yarn, or something like that. So, or maybe, you know, we'll see. Okay.
She hasn't made up her mind.
I haven't made up my mind, and I have to talk to Talia about something else. So we'll see. The next thing is Autism Awareness, and again, this is going from, let's see, January, February, March, April through the end of June. And we have a co-host, a very wonderful co-host. Laura Concert always does this with us for like the past 5 or 6 years, maybe more. So she's just a mainstay for this. So
Yes, she is.
And she, if you're not part of Ravelry, she has very, very graciously opened up other avenues for people who still want to be part of the Along in Her group. And there's on Facebook, and there's an email. And we have a thread in our group about where you can do where you can send things to her. And if you have a question, you can contact her in our group. She's a member of the group, or you can contact her on our Facebook page or Instagram. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
So you can just, you know, she's pretty good about getting back to you. So this is, let's see here, this is, you know, it's okay to be different is the theme of it, and it's all bright colors and blue. Okay, all bright colors and blue, and the blue should be bright if at all possible. All right. Let's see here. All right, the featured yarns, bright yarns, mine and Laura's. Okay, as far as patterns go, Talia's, my shawl, and Laura's, bright colored, as well as George's Braid It Bright. That's 10 hours or less, and that is knitted, right? I think he has a crocheted version as well.
It's knitted. I don't believe there's a crocheted version.
Okay, and then Juliana Lund's hat. It's a, I always forget the name of that hat. Winding Journey. And then Miss World, her little bear and lap gown, weighted lap gown, okay? And I think you can only get that on Ravelry.
Yeah, I think so, unless something's changed.
Right. So those are all 2 chances at a prize for a finished object. And if you use my yarn or Laura's yarn with one of those featured patterns, as always, that is 3 chances at a prize. Okay? All right.
Before we go on, because it sounds like you're done with listing like anything for autism, because you ran through all the patterns and stuff. I did want to mention, as for some awareness stuff, because you and I talked about this earlier in the week. One characteristic that is frequently associated with autism and the autism spectrum is something called stimming. People who have kids who have sensory issues might also notice this. Basically, it is some sort of repetitive action that is performed by a person. It can be, you see, some of the examples that are usually given are like head banging,
rocking,
flapping your hands, tapping like your foot or something. It's a repetitive action that doesn't necessarily serve an obvious purpose. Like, it's not like they're trying to...
And we're not talking about like restless leg or anything like that. We're talking about something different.
No, it's not because, oh, I want to ease up this restlessness in my leg necessarily. they're dealing with something interiorly, and their action that they're doing is a relief for that. It was something I was thinking about. Now, Davina doesn't have as obvious stimming
not anymore.
And I don't remember very well the things she used to do.
She would actually sometimes, at the height
humming
of it,
is the one I remember.
humming, and then she also had, at the height of it, before she started coming down a little bit, she would bang her head.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, not hard. And part of it, to qualify, part of it I think is because she doesn't know how to always translate. She'll take a cartoon or something like that. So you see on a cartoon or something, or you see a movie and somebody's frustrated and they go, you know, and so she's, you know,
mimicking.
So yes, mimicking, which is another
right
thing.
Because one of the key things with autism is understanding social situations is difficult. So they will mimic what they see in an attempt to integrate, and they might even seem, because some people appear to integrate very well, but it's not necessarily because they understand the way it works. It's just that they're very good mimics.
Right, and they see what somebody else does, which is how we learn, but they're not internalizing it.
Right, it's not because on some level it's really sinking
and
in.
It might be...
and this is something I've gotten from people who have described it, who are high functioning.
Right.
And have autism, but they'll say, like, well, yeah, they're just really good at mimicking.
and it also might, that's why it might seem like it's out of proportion.
Right.
Because something happened and it's, you know, okay, they go through that, okay, this is how they react to this. This is low level, but the person I saw was higher level, and they're, you know. So
well, the example we frequently see for Davina is there'll be a song or a movie that's sad. And you can almost see the switch turn, where she's like, this is sad, I should be crying.
And she doesn't just have the tears, she's got the loud,
dramatic.
And this is not to make fun of her. This is to say that
it's
this is how...
a mimicking behavior. Because it's... What makes it different than if she was actually, like, really emotionally invested in it is if you're saying, you know, what's going on? I'll turn off like this. And there is no residue. So it's very much of a... This is... You can almost see the thought process of, this is sad, I should be crying.
Right.
And actually, I think she's improved in that.
She has.
It's not quite as obvious anymore.
She doesn't do it as much anymore.
No.
She does do it still, but not a lot.
But not as, I feel like her empathy skills have been improving.
Well, I think because Davina is probably, I think Michelle said moderate. And that's what my thought was as well. Her developmental delay is more than I thought.
It complicates things.
Yeah, complicates things. She's more developmentally delayed than we thought. But she, I thought, what was I saying?
We were talking about the moderate of the autism spectrum. And we were talking about her being able to turn it on and off. She's been improving with the...
Oh, she was improving with the... Because she is not low functioning, repeated, intense exposure to people who have difficulties is forcing her to adapt more, you know. Right, it's pushing her to her limits to do that.
We'll see, we've seen a big difference between when I first got sick to now. When I first got sick, it was a very, like a kid who's reacting to something new entering their life that turns it upside down. Where she was upset, but part of it was not knowing how to deal with the attention being elsewhere, not knowing how to deal with this new stressor, and not having the tools to cope.
Right.
So...
Well, she already had she was just figuring out her position in the family, if you will. You know, calling Talia the little big sister. Now she's able to take over to be the big sister.
Right, because she had finally adjusted to the fact that, okay, I'm older, but I'm not older. And she had finally come to terms with that, and then things flipped on their head when I got sick. Now she feels needed.
And she feels older.
She now... Once she got past the rocky point up, because change is never easy, particularly when you're on the autism spectrum. So when things got shook up, there was a period of time where she tried to minimize what I was going through because it was harder for her to cope with the fact that it might be a big deal.
Yeah.
And now she's at the point where she actually is starting to think, oh, Talia walks in the room, let me turn off the lights.
Right.
Talia walks in the room, maybe it would be better if I close that curtain,
Right.
because she's very light sensitive at times.
Right.
So this is behavior that is actually pretty new for her.
And it's actually, it's pretty advanced for even...
I was just thinking
you know,
about pretty advanced for her.
Is she, even for... Some people are just clueless. And so this is... I mean, it's bled over into other things. I mean, she knows my limitations, what little they are. I try to keep as much of it as I can, but she gets annoyed if I try to, you know, reach too high or...
Well, she now feels like... I think it gives like she has some power.
Yeah, she has some control.
She has some control. This is something she can do, and she's actually very loath to give it up. I'm not allowed to do my laundry.
No.
I don't even attempt to anymore.
No.
Because for one thing, it is actually hard on me. But for another thing, it would hurt her.
I mean, sometimes when I say, hey, you know, Talia needs to get her laundry. Oh, I got that. That. It's not, she does.
Because actually, one time I did it because there was something that I didn't want her to have to worry about touching.
Right.
And she was actually a little hurt that I didn't let her do it. I was like, well, no, it was just because of this. I didn't want you to have to deal with that. And she was okay with it then. And
I can't bring, if I go downstairs to do stuff, if I turn on the dryer downstairs with Talia's stuff in so I can use the washer, I get in trouble. So it's like, you know, yes, my daughter yells at me. No, she doesn't. She's, Mom.
So having the having a role and a feeling of purpose has been very good for her.
That's been a blessing for the whole
it really
situation.
Has. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I was thinking about stimming, because with the sensory overload that I've been having, I started noticing myself stimming, and it was like, oh, that's why she did that. Even though she doesn't do it really much anymore. It suddenly clicked and made sense.
And a lot of, you know, and it's not something that's only, mostly it's with, you know, sensory deprivation, that kind, not deprivation, but overload. But it can be something that's in passing too. You know, if I got really upset and had to go like beside myself like that and by myself, I will do this.
And mom's noticed for me in the past, because I'm a upset, angry crier. I'm a strong emotion crier.
Yep.
And it's gotten worse when I got sick. But one of the things I do if I'm trying not to cry is I actually will violently start shifting. I will shift my position. I will rock. I will do anything.
But you've done that forever.
Yeah, frenetic movements to attempt not to do that. But that tendency has bled over with the sensory issues, that I will start doing things to ease the pressure and distract from the sensory issues, and which I'm thinking must be part of what's going on. I mean, obviously I'm not in someone's head, and I don't know if Davina really thinks about why she does the stimming.
I don't think you think about it, especially
no, and I didn't think about it until it clicked one day. And that's also because I'm medically trained, and you're thinking about those sort of things. If you're not medically trained and you don't think about those sort of things, I don't think you're sitting there going, oh, this is gonna ease up. Yeah. You're just doing this because you find yourself doing it.
Yeah. It's
and then
it's not a.
It's a compensatory mechanism, is what it is.
It's a way of releasing. To me, it kind of reminds me of opening a faucet or opening a release valve, and that helps. You know.
Well, and since some of the things that I've noticed that have been described, like the banging the head, or for me, it's been like digging the nails in.
I noticed that. Yeah.
It's almost like causing pain or discomfort somewhere else actually relieves pressure in another place. And I do wonder if sometimes with our autistic kids, adults, whatever, and I wonder if you see the stimming more in the more severe, the kids who can't express themselves, if there's such frustration, and some of that, besides a conscious letting out of the frustration, if there is some unconscious attempt to relieve some of that pressure.
Could be. Because we don't know a lot about what goes on in a severe and profound autistic person because they can't communicate.
Right.
So, they're just,
because if you can't write or in some other way
hand language
speak or whatever, or communicate in a way that we can understand, it's very difficult to...
Because most of the people that I saw when I was doing special education training, was severe and profound, who would sit there and they would, it wasn't just like this, it was, you know, really, really severe types of movement.
Right, not like what a person might do, like what I might do when I'm upset, versus when I'm stimming. Where, you know, you're trying to prevent, you're consciously trying to prevent something, or even semi-consciously trying to prevent something else.
I don't even know if it's conscious for most people.
Well, you think not?
No, I think it's just...
I think it might be underneath.
It's subconscious.
Whereas I think stimming, it truly is... for most people, completely unconscious.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think it's.
But I'm thinking sometimes when people are doing it when they're upset or they're quiet, it's not a stimming.
No, it's
I think there is a little bit more of a conscious element to it, even if it's only semi-conscious.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because the times I've caught myself doing what I consider more of a stimming activity, it's never been, I'm going to do this because it relieves it. It's, I caught myself doing it, and then the analytical part of my mind... And
We're not going to go into analytical again.
I'm just saying the trained part of my mind then went, oh, that's stimming. But just some... There, that'll cover autism awareness for like the next 20 years.
We won't have to do that anymore?
Yeah.
All right, we're going into whips. Unless you have something else. All right.
You said you had 5, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I think I have 4.
Just barely have 5.
Just barely still counts.
Yeah, I didn't feel like doing anything the last 2 days. I said, oh, I should probably do something else and get some more projects. And I'm like,
excuse me.
No. I was tired. I was dead tired by 6 o'clock the last several days. I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah, I have only 4.
Okay. So, in my Kiki Poo Owls, Holiday Owls bag, because as Talia said, we like using our Christmas bags whenever.
Yes, exactly.
Holiday Owls bag. Denise makes a good bag.
Yes,
Very
she
nice
does.
bag. Okay, this is my... Did I pull the wrong one out?
I have no idea.
Hold on. Yes, I did. Well, let me just go back to that one.
It's the one you just have in your hand? Or?
Yeah. I don't know why I pulled this one out first.
Because you did.
You know what? I'm going to hold that thought. I'm going to go to the other one.
Because you can't find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Guess it's better not to confuse yourself.
I don't need help in confusing myself. Okay. In my... Silver Sheds Bookworm Caterpillar bag. Okay. Also another very well made bag. This is by Ann Brody. Lovely Ann Brody. This is my Little Boy Blue baby hat project from the hand knit pull on baby hat pattern by Ray of Hope. And I'm using US 7s for this, and there's Knit Picks Bravo Worsted in the sky blue colorway. Sky colorway. I just am going and going until I hit the required inches. But I don't think there is any end to this. Look at how stretch.
I'm beginning to wonder if they meant stretched out or something, because...
Well, I don't know. It says...
I know what it says. I'm just wondering, because there's got to be a point.
Let's see here. 10 inches. 12 inches for the bigger one. 10 inches. I must be by about 10 inches by now. But, yeah, so this is not hard. And even if I mess up on it, it doesn't matter.
I even knit a little bit on it.
Yeah, you did at the hospital. But not very much.
No, enough to kind of keep my hands and mind busy.
Because she forgot her project for whatever reason at that point.
Well, it was my pre-stuff for surgery. I think I was just so rattled.
This is at...
Oh, you're there.
I'm there. I'm a little past there. Cool. Okay, good. That means I'll be asking Talia to help me translate what I need to do next, because it doesn't make any sense. But, okay, good. Maybe this will be done next week. Maybe. Okay. Your turn.
Okay, so I'm just going to show the one I have right here. So, the yarn that I'm actively working on, I keep in my Silver Shed USA Autumn Leaves Snoopy bag. And then I keep the yarns that I want to have in the blanket before I finish it in my Kissing Bunnies Ploverbird bag. So that'll give me, I think, a couple more rows.
Do you want your ice socks?
Not quite yet, I don't think. Because it's really weird. It's like my feet don't feel hot, but I'm sweating. But anyway.
That's turning out so pretty.
I am so close. I didn't work a whole lot on it this week, but I had other things I wanted to work on. Actually, these two are really similar to each other.
No, they're not.
Well, I mean similar. It's like it's got the same colors, just like this is a lighter version of that almost.
This is more of a tan background to it. The other one's more blue.
Yeah, but they definitely have a similar feel.
Yeah, I guess.
And then the green in the middle.
Yeah.
So those are the three that I've worked on this week. Not quite as much as the previous week, but the previous week this was all I wanted to work on because I was having a rough week. This week was a bit better, so I was able to focus on other things.
Right. Okay. Excuse me. In my Universal Studios huge canvas bag that I got when we were Universal Studios on our anniversary, and like I said last time, or maybe I was talking to my husband, I don't know, this bag, I'm not usually impressed by things that you get at theme parks. They're not usually very well made. This is a really sturdy bag.
That's great.
It's a very sturdy bag. It's got this...
it makes me think of it in a way than the Maryland Sheep and Wool bags we got that one year.
Yeah. This bag, where's my... I can't find it, but it's got a thing that you can...
is it like a bottom thing?
This.
And
it's okay. Really, it's, you know, usually you feel like they might come out really easy. This is really sturdy in there. But anyway, I did a little work on this. This is my Ninja Turtle baby blanket.
I was just feeling what it was made out of.
Canvas. So, see, you can tell that the red is growing. But like I said, this past week, I haven't felt like doing anything. And I've also been doing other things.
Yeah, you've been busy.
But by the time we got to a time where I could actually do knitting and crocheting, I was like, I can't focus on anything. I just, I don't want to. I'm tired and I don't want to. So
You didn't?
No, I didn't. So I spent the time, we watched a movie with my husband. I just lay down and watched the movie, and sometimes I fall asleep and sometimes I watch the movie. So, but, so some work has gotten done on this. This is not hard. It's not hard at all. It's a pattern I got on Lovecraft, and it's by Lisa Vanilla, and it's called the Ninja Turtle Baby Blanket. And this is Brava Sport in white, black, grass, solstice, heather, red, eggplant, and orange to get all the turtles in.
Right.
Right now I've got Leo and Raph going in here. For those.
And it will have eyes on it, correct?
Yes, it will. It'll be fun. So that's that.
So, just finishing my last.
That is close. I'm hoping to finish that during Tortoise versus Hare. So, that's when I started it. Tortoise versus Hare.
Took you here.
Well, I just put it away for a while. Just,
Well, that makes sense. Okay, so in my Plover Bird stained glass Batman bag, this was actually a special order she made for me. And she found the fabric.
yeah, she was fantastic.
I love this fabric. I've never seen it anywhere else.
I have.
Have you? Okay.
I saw it before you got it, actually, as fabric.
But this is something I actually haven't worked on in a while. The Ridgeline Wrap Cardigan by Pearl Soho. Cascade 220 in the colorway Puget Sound.
Is this knitted? Yes. Right?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's not going to look like a lot of work simply because
it's all ribbing. It's
all ribbing, and it's not going to look different from time to time.
Is that flat? I mean,
well, it's going to be flat to point. The sleeves are not.
The sleeves are not. Okay.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be a big wrappy sweater, which is what I wanted it for. Is just to have something I can completely wrap around because I get temperature fluctuations.
Because I have that in my cart, or I have it in my files. Do you think I could do the sleeves on a 9-inch?
I haven't gotten to that point. So I don't know what the sleeves are like.
Yeah. I guess I could magic loop it.
I would myself do that because I feel like most sleeves don't tend to be wide enough for a 9. I'm taking a quick look at the picture of the sleeves. Yeah, they're tighter. It's ribbing.
Yeah, I want it longer than that too.
Yeah. But well, I
pretty
guess
sweater.
Might as well show you guys since I'm showing Mom the picture.
It's a really pretty.
It's
sweater.
not a real. It's hard to tell with the black and white, but it's really a nice sweater. I'm calling it a cozy sweater because that's what it is. That's what I wanted it for, and it would still look nice and out and about.
It's really nice. I like the way it falls. One of my favorite sweaters is like that. It's lighter weight, I think.
Yeah, this is heavier.
Yeah, this is heavier.
I had to go down a needle size or 2, I think, because this was yarn. I happen to have enough for it, and I've had this yarn forever, and I just never used it for a sweater, which is what it was meant for. So,
Very cool.
now I have it for a sweater.
Was that my talking about Pearl Soho for my shawl one of the things that got you started on this
I think
again?
possibly.
Yeah.
I've always like, it's a good idea to work on it a bit. It's one of the... Because on Sundays, I try not to work on anything for the shop, any of the designs or anything.
We try not to work on Sunday.
Just so I can have one day. Because when you're working from home, one of the challenges is making a little bit of... carving out a little time for you. Right. So what I eventually just is like, okay, Sunday is the time for me.
And we don't work on Sundays for the most part. I will do some dyeing because it's not all work for me. I enjoy it. I asked my priest about that. I said, what if you enjoy doing such and such? Like, I don't mind doing laundry. I don't like ironing, but I don't mind doing laundry. He said, well, if you enjoy it, if you wash the car because you have fun with it, that's not work.
And if there's a design where all I want to do is work on it because I'm loving it so much, that would be different.
Right, but you don't post it on, you don't put it up for, if she finished it, she wouldn't put it up for testing on Sunday. She wouldn't list it on Sunday. When I was writing, I never would write on my novel on Sunday because I was hoping to sell it.
Right.
So I wouldn't work on it on Sunday.
Just to kind of create a boundary so you can have a mental space to relax. Because
and also what for God is for God.
Well, yes, that as well, but also for mental health purposes, it's a very good.
Well, that's why we have that.
Yeah.
That's why we have it. So.
Because otherwise you get burned out really quickly if all you're doing constantly is that thing. You need to carve out that time.
Right.
So even though it's still knitting, it's different because it's not something I have to do.
Right. Okay. My next one is in my Silver Shed USA Owls bag, Davina's artwork, so Archimedes. And this is Talia's shawl. This is my Taste of Autumn shawl project. I did a little bit of this. See. Now that the other one is done, I can focus on this one. So it's getting there. It's growing. You can see that I've got the... It's hard for me to lift my arm. Can you lift this up? So you can see that I've got a couple of rows of the variegated under here now. And that's what I'm doing for the time being. I'm not sure how much I'm going to go before I hit the other stripe. I'll probably have Talia... As I get closer, I'll probably have you put it on and see how... I like the way it's turning out. It's really pretty.
It's turning out really beautifully.
So this is it's Miss Babs for the variegated and the dark rust, but the gold is Malabrigo. It's Malabrigo, and I think it's either old gold or something. I forget. I've got the tag in here somewhere. But anyway, I really like Malabrigo. I will go to a shop and I know what Mad Tosh is, and I like Mad Tosh, but inevitably I go right to Malabrigo.
You see, I go right to Mad Tosh.
So it's just, there are colors that I like for Malabrigo, for Mad Tosh, but there's something about Malabrigo that has just kind of, I don't have to see the tag, I just go to it.
And I did the same thing for Mad Tosh.
And I love Mad Tosh, and I will go to it, but it has to be specific colors for me for Mad Tosh. I like some of her greens and some of her reds and stuff. But another one that I used to do that with a lot of times was Dragonfly. Just boom, Dragonfly fibers. Makes me sad that they had to change hands, but it looks like they're doing well with it.
Well, yeah, because they got all her recipes. So,
well, not all of them.
But they got a lot of her recipes.
Yeah, I was thinking about ordering some of her red, but I have to see what kind of red it is.
Right.
So then, it's one of the 328 sports, so I think that's like my thin sport.
Okay. That would be not the Traveler. That would be
It's her Bubba base.
Oh, Bubba? I'm not
base.
familiar with Bubba. Yeah. I don't think I ever purchased Bubba.
I haven't. It was a base they had for a while, then it went away, and they have it back now.
Oh, okay. In my Silver Shed USA Christmas stocking bag, Peanuts, is a Christmas stocking in progress, a design.
Design in progress. Okay.
Yep. So that's all you get to see.
All right, my next one is...
Excuse me.
Oh, I forgot to say what that shawl was. It's by Anastasia Sattel, the Scrap Shawl Project. That's what it's called, okay? And I love Anastasia. She's fantastic. I don't know if she's still designing. I haven't seen anything by her, but she's on Ravelry. But still, I haven't seen anything by her in a long time, which is a shame. She's a talented designer. Okay, and maybe I just haven't seen it.
Right, I mean, that could well be.
Okay, now, my next one is in my PHN Chameleon bag. This one. And this is my At the Bottom of the Hill scarf project. And I haven't decided if I'm going to try to make this a design. So
I think you should, because, you know, it's not like you glanced at it, but you really did build it.
Yeah. So you can see I like the stitch. It's
pretty.
It's textured and it's really pretty. It would work well with almost any kind of yarn, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of do I want to just leave it like this and make it a free pattern and then maybe come back to this and make another pattern, or what? So, but this is James C. Brett. It's a bulky yarn, and it doesn't feel overly heavy. I mean, I'm using what size needles?
James C. Brett is a really light bulky yarn.
It's I'm using. The colorway is either MC9 or MC10.
By light, I mean it's airy.
Yeah, I think we decided these were 10.5 needles.
Yeah, they were.
And I have to put that in there. But this is a skein of yarn I have. I think I'm going to be able to get through the whole skein for the scarf.
Do you have more if you don't? I mean, you can always get more.
Up there, but I think one at the bottom there.
Oh,
maybe?
I think that might be, yeah.
So, I think this is nice. It's very stretchy. I like this stitch. I may use this stitch for something else. So yeah,
There's plenty of people who've done that, you know, where they like something and they just use it multiple times.
Seed stitch.
Huh?
Seed stitch.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm enjoying this and it's fun, and I'm not sure if this will be a free pattern or like a minimal payment pattern, or if I'm going to change it or what. We'll see. Yes, I know I was going to do crocheting patterns, but this one's already started. So,
and you're still reading through the book and stuff.
Yeah. I should use that as a swatch while it's still there.
Yeah. In my this is star knits. My star knits are 2 bag. Is the design.
It is the bag show. You are now in the bag show.
Well, that's all that you have for me.
Okay, this is my last
work
one.
in progress.
This is my Kikiboo Owl bag. It's here. Its turn. Is my cotton preemie hat. This is the cotton preemie hat, and it's just a loom knit hat, little preemie hat. And this is I love this cotton, and I was listening to our podcast while I was doing stuff because I wanted to see how it sounded and everything, and I went on and on about this, so I'm not going to go on and on about it. You already know about it. So it is cotton. We went on talking about cotton and cotton linen and all that kind of stuff. So just, it has grown a little bit.
Well, last podcast was on and on.
No, it was philosophizing. Okay. So that's that. And, you know, I like to have one of these going all the time because theoretically it should be easy to finish. But,
Theoretically.
You know, there you go, right? Okay. So that's a Cindy Wood loom, and it's a small little sock loom. Okay, so that's all I have to show.
And that leads us to FOs. Do you have any?
I do not.
I have 2 FOs.
Ooh.
And they're both for Davina's birthday.
Which is yesterday. Which
Yes.
was yesterday.
But we don't give gifts until Sunday.
Right, because that's when we do the big blowout.
This is Diana's hat by Joanna Johnson. Just trying to find the back because I'd like to put it on in the back. There's my seam. Okay.
Isn't that pretty? She'll love that.
And I forget who does this yarn.
Is that Lollipop?
Oh, no, it's Lemonade Shop.
Lemonade Shop, that's it, yeah.
So, you know,
Isn't that pretty?
Diana's hat. It's a sport weight. Sport or DK. It was originally meant for socks for me, and then when I stopped making socks, I was like, well, I'm not gonna wear this color.
Don't you have 3? No, oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, right, gotcha. Okay,
So
my mistake. Sorry, guys. You'll be in the know in a little bit.
So this is birthday gift 1. Then
Okay, that was one of the ones I was talking about.
yes, I
I got it.
So I did finish, and I've been talking about this for a while, and this is It's a precursor to the shop news just because this pattern's still available in the kit, but just not in this yarn. This is Lady's Favor. I had some leftover sparkle
Silver bells.
And I lost a yarn chicken, and Mom had to dye up some more for me.
Yeah, it was touch and go whether or not she'd finish it. Oh, and is she still there?
Or she might have forgotten to turn off her timer again.
Yeah. If you hear a bell, that's her timer for her snack. Davina's.
So.
Oh, those are not nice in that.
I mean, for as long as she likes silver, this will be good.
Linnea gave us a nice shout out for the kits.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Linnea.
Thank you, Linnea, very, very much.
I need to eventually find some yellow yarn. When I finish knitting with my buttersquash, I can use that to make a pair of these. Because I like a certain kind of yellow, and I don't have anything that's yellow. I have orange and I have red. I might still have to knit another red pair. But, yeah.
Very pretty.
And she's been asking me about these, like, for a while. Almost daily for a while there. So.
I love mine. Mine are blue, of course.
And this is, which base is this, Mom? This is not the super sparkly. This is
No, that's the Stardust base.
This is Stardust base.
Okay, and...
Well, then I think we usually go into stash enhancements before, because shop news is one of the last things.
Right, okay, stash enhancements. I gotta get out of frame for just a second, because it was Mother's Day this weekend. Oh, no, I don't have to get out of frame. It's right here. Okay, before we go into the Mother's Day gifts, this is amazing, you guys. My husband surprised us. Okay. He wants to touch this one up, but look at this. It's wood. It's decoupaged.
Yeah, look
His
at
artwork.
that.
Isn't that amazing? It's still a little tacky, so I have to be careful with it. Look at that.
It's really cool.
I love it. He just showed it to us yesterday.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was making it. So he did this, and then he made this as well. He said that these are not very well done. I think you get this at Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
he made
yeah.
this for me, for when I do my prayers and stuff.
You could totally get something like that at Hobby Lobby. It's that awesome.
Wouldn't you buy this at Hobby Lobby or something? Isn't that great?
It's amazing.
Look at that.
Because it has that distressed look that they like to do.
I just love it. I have to ask him to put something on the back so I can actually hang it. But I love it. Isn't that great?
It is.
I'm not too proud of my husband. Not at all. Okay. So Mother's Day, I got a whole bunch of ebooks. Okay. And, you know, a lot of them were meditation, religious kind of Catholic books. You know, we are stuck at home, in quotes.
Yeah.
You know, locked down. And so I can't get to Mass like I want to, accept online Masses. I can't get to the sacraments like I like to, accept the confession maybe once a month or 6 weeks or whatever. And possible communion after the Masses are done because of the possibility of contagion. We have to be really careful about what we do. Now, once my husband has to go back to work, we'd revisit that, and we'll probably go to Mass on Sundays, although not daily. But, because then he's being exposed already.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're stuck at home, so having, for the most part, and that's fine. I don't mean to say stuck as a negative. I'm just saying that
it's what it is.
it is what it is, and I'm not one that's really bothered by it. As long as I can get out to walk a little bit, which we can because we're in a fairly open neighborhood and stuff like that, I don't mind being home. So, but the religious things are so I can make sure that my faith life doesn't suffer. I have meditations and all kinds of things like that my husband must have picked up almost everything I had on my list, you know, in terms of that stuff. And then he gave me a gift card to pick up the fantasy books and things like that I like because he didn't know what I wanted exactly. It was on my list, but he said, you have a lot of them. I didn't know what you wanted, so here's the amount of money, X amount of money, get what you want. So I did that. But some of the things that first of all, let me show you what Davina made me.
Oh, you put it back in the bag, it's going to be all twisty.
Well, it was twisty regardless. I'm going to have to figure out a way to... I think she used a different wire this time.
Well, I'm thinking if it lays flat for a while and you lay something on top of it.
Yeah, but it's just if you feel the wire, you can see that it's just, the wire's not as good as some of the wire. I think maybe when Aunt Carmen got the wire on sale, maybe it wasn't as good. Not to say she didn't, you know, that's not good. It's just, you know... Anyway, so she made me this for my Mother's Day. So you can see how pretty it is. Okay, there. Okay. So maybe that. And then my husband got me a couple of DVDs. Now, one of them, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., has to go back because DVDs, I'm sure most of you are aware, but if you're not, they have regions that they can play it on certain DVD players.
Oh,
and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not for our area. It was for Area B, whichever that is. Maybe it's Canada, maybe it's England. I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's not going to play on our player. So we have to send it back and get the first season of that where it will play on our DVD player. But I also got the first season of Agent Carter. And these are series, is this on ABC? It's on ABC. So we don't watch TV necessarily. We watch movies and things, and I'm more likely to watch a DVD than a television program. So I have that. And then this is a religious book. I'm a Pauline, and the title that we give to Jesus, the title we use, is the one he gave himself, which is Jesus Master, Way, Truth, and Life. And this is a book about that. So I'm really looking forward to this. It comes out of Ascension Press. For those of you who are interested, I know we have a couple people who might be. So this looks very, very good. Okay. Back to the knitting and stuff. I got a couple of things. Dying to Knit and Spin, which looks really, really interesting. One of the books I got on ebook was also about colors. And so it's basically that one is basically with fabrics, but it has
things you can transfer over.
It can transfer. It has ideas for how to make colors. So I'll have to work with it, but it gives me something to work from.
Yeah.
So, and this also has some of that stuff and talks about methods in terms of technique and stuff like that, which is really cool. So that's this. And then the one I've been waiting for, because that one was a surprise, the one I've been waiting for, it was kind of a last minute. I said, oh, look, Mike, I want this. Designing Your Own Crochet Projects. And this goes through all the math and all that. And it's really funny because when I found So Woolly, this last one that I'm watching for her, she's dealing with some of that too. So this one, it doesn't do shawls, but it does just about everything else. So I'm going to have to...
Well, if it gives you the basics, you can move from there.
Well, I need to figure out... I'm trying to find a place where I can figure out how to start. I have it for knitting, how to do the different shapes. I don't know where I can find it for crocheting, and I've been looking. I want to say I have something, but I'm not sure. I can't find it. So, in any event, I have this. This does all kinds of things, and I'm looking forward to it.
There's got to be something out there.
There's got to be something out there. So, this
Even
is really...
if you start Googling, like, crochet shawl design...
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. I'm going to continue, but... So, that's this. I'm really, really super excited about this. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, that's what I got for my... Stash enhancements.
Okay, so reading / watching.
Okay, so reading. I'm reading Scoundrels by Timothy Zahn. I started reading Mary Queen of Apostles. I think it's called Mary Queen of Apostles.
No, that's a different book.
Yeah, it's slightly different title. I don't have it in here, so I can't tell you because I have to get out of my show notes. But the Daughters of St. Paul are doing a book club type thing with Zoom on this book. And with Mary's Queen of Apostles feast day coming up at the end of the month, I really wanted to do it. And I have the book, so I'm going to be doing that. So I started reading that. But what about you?
I've been mostly listening to The Hobbit on audiobook. Just because...
I thought you were listening to The Fellowship.
I'm sorry, I finished The Hobbit. You're right, I'm listening to The Fellowship.
Because you're a little ahead of me.
Yeah.
I've listened to that as well.
I think last week I was still listening to The Hobbit. I'm now in The Fellowship. I think maybe I just started because we had a debate before the podcast last time about Frodo and Bilbo.
Bilbo, yeah. Because we're both listening to that, but she's been listening to it and I haven't had a chance, so...
So, it's interesting because I think the last time I read it was probably pre-college. Well, I might have read it a little... Last time I read it all the way through might have been around college age. So it's been a good 10 years since I've read it. And reading something again as an adult really does give you a different perspective. As we noticed when we read Terry Brooks again.
Right.
Even though you read it both times as an adult...
It's still a different perspective.
It's a different perspective. And you see the characters a different way.
You don't realize how young some of them are until you come back from that different perspective.
Particularly for Terry Brooks. I haven't noticed that as much for Tolkien. And I mean, the songs still... I still zone out a little bit in the songs. It's a little easier when I'm listening to it because I get... Well, in the book, I just skip it.
Yeah.
In the audiobook, I will just sort of like zone until he's done singing. Or like I'll half listen.
Sometimes I'll read it. It depends on my mood. Because I do like poetry. But sometimes the poetry goes on for 2 pages or 3 pages.
I'm not a huge poetry person. There's certain poems I like, but I'm not huge into poetry.
I started with poetry when I wrote. So, but poetry...
Well, poetry is like music, and you are very musical.
Yeah. Well, poetry also... One of the reasons I never took poetry class is because I could never get out of the poetry what the teacher said I should get out of it.
Because they made it up. That's not what they meant.
And I also, if I wrote something, they were constantly trying to tell me how to say what I wanted to say. And I'm sorry. What I want to say is what I want to say, and that's, if you don't like it, that's fine. And if you think it's wordy, I can take that. But don't tell me to change it completely. It doesn't make... I had somebody send back a poem that I had submitted to something or other. And they took out all these different words. And I was like, okay, you completely changed the meaning. It doesn't make any sense this way. So well,
they obviously didn't get your meaning.
Yeah, I love poetry, but I think it's one of those things where you have... like in art where you have snobs or music.
Well, in some ways, poetry is a lot more stylistically
regimented.
Rigid.
Yeah, regimented says it.
Than prose.
Yeah. And there is free-form poetry, which also, I like something in between. I think what I write closest to is narrative poetry, and I like narrative poetry. I like a little more detail. I don't like...
And Tolkien does tend to do more of a narrative poetry. Yeah. To bring it back to original.
Yes. Well, was that a stop?
It was a cool motion.
Cool motion. You can't do anything cool. You said that.
But, yeah. And that's about it for me for reading. Nothing really terribly exciting to report in personal stuff either. So let's go on to shop news.
Shop news. We have had a couple more sales. We have only 2 more blue in the shop. We have 4 of the red kits in the shop. So that's good. I'm glad. I was really excited to see the red ones start selling. So we have 4 skeins of the ladies' favorite kits in red and 2 in the blue left. So thank you very much for everyone who's buying. These will be for sale until the end of June. And then
as a kit.
And then...
And they'll remain exclusive until the end of June. Right. Even if they all sell before then, they will not become available.
Until the end of June.
Until after June.
Because that means that the skeins of yarn I showed you the other day that were out of the weight class, the ones, I have a Courtly Love, I think that's in Fingering Sock Sparkle, I think.
I can't remember.
And Stardust, and I think I have a Sport Weight of Ladies' Favor, the blue, the Ladies' Favor.
Right, because you thought it was Sport at first.
I thought it was Sport at first. So those 2 will not be going into the shop until July 1st. So you have until that time, if you want a kit, to pick one up. I think they make very nice gifts, and they make, pick-me-ups for people who maybe, are a little bored or a little depressed because they're stuck inside, either as a gift or as a kit for them to do something.
Right.
So, yeah.
And sometimes it's just fun to have a kit.
Sometimes it's just fun to have a kit, okay?
Okay, so I do have shop news. So
I'm sorry, one more thing. I do have yarn. I had special orders. And the reason I want to get this out of the way because Talia's stuff right now is kind of important. So the people who did special orders, I have all your orders done. Plus a couple of extras. I have 2 new colorways that I'm really excited about. But
they're drying, right?
They're drying downstairs. So I can't show them to you. I will try to show them to you next week. Okay?
So, 2 designs that are completed and ready to enter into testing. I'm actually going to show you the more recent one first.
Keep your voice down, though.
Yeah. because and my voice is going to get soft, so you might need to turn up the sound a little bit.
Right, because somebody who is not supposed to hear it might hear it.
Yes. So I thought I heard voice at first.
I think that was my phone, actually.
Okay.
It went beep beep.
I was a little paranoid. Okay, so Brittany knows what I'm talking about because I talked to her about it a little bit. To lead in, everyone knows Davina loves her hats, as evidenced by the fact that Diana's hat, she has like 20 million of them.
Mm-hmm. And she wears them.
And she wears them. She likes to have them for different outfits and yeah, she really likes her hats. And Mom, at her begging, pleading, nagging, she got Mom to dye her a colorway for her that is Drama Queen 7, which was Davina's Ravelry name.
Right. And I had to go through like 4 or 5 renditions of it before she was happy with it. And all of them had made it to the shop at one time or another.
It had to be fingering weight because she wanted the Comet base, which is a super sparkle. So I just had the one skein, and I was telling me, well, when I'm done with the Diana's hat I just finished, I will knit you something out of your hat.
Out of your yarn.
A hat out of your yarn. Well, I did, but I designed her a hat. So this is the Davina hat. That's the name of it. The picture will be her wearing her hat because that just seems apropos.
She'll be thrilled too.
And it's a simple pattern because it's meant to be. And it's the same drape of something like a Diana's hat, but it is different because she likes that style of hat. It is a specific, she likes a floppy hat. So let me get it. First, let me show it not on. First, there is, and it pulls quite a bit.
You can see the seed stitch.
You can see my love affair with seed stitch continuing. And then let me put it. So it's a very simple pattern, which for me it was nice because I tend to design things that are more in depth for the most part. I mean, I have a couple things that are not, but it is something that I noticed that I have a tendency toward. And this was not a nice change because I could just knit on this and not really pay much attention.
It looks really pretty.
And it has the length that she likes on, because she always would tell me, no, I need you to make my Diana's hats longer. I like more flop, more flop, more flop. So I kept having to make them longer for her. This has the flop she likes.
So that would drive me insane.
Oh, she the floppier it is, the better she likes it.
I like the way it sits, though.
So it's a very simple pattern. She prefers a fingering weight, because I had asked her in the past, do you like the heavier ones I've knit you, or do you like the lighter ones? She's like, well, I like the lighter ones. I like how they feel on my head. I mean, she likes both of them.
Yeah.
But when I was like, if you have a preferred. So it worked out as well, because that is what her yarn is in. But also, I wanted the hat named for her to be in the weight she preferred.
Right.
So it's her yarn, her pattern. I wrote the pattern, did the design, wrote the pattern, knit it up in about 4 days. It's a really quick pattern.
It's really pretty. She'll love it because it's her special color in Comet base, which is her favorite of my bases.
Yes. So this is something that was not necessarily planned, and just hit me.
Well, she wasn't sure she would be able to finish the mitts. So
initially Diana's hat was supposed to
make
up for that.
Right.
But as I was knitting Diana's hat, I got smacked with, I was like, and I just started playing with some ideas. The math is different and things like that. But because she always likes that shape. So I wanted that shape because that is her preferred shape.
Right.
So there's that pattern, and that will not go for testing until Monday, because I want to get pictures of her wearing it.
Right.
To put on the pattern. I can't do that until Sunday when she gets it. This, on the other hand, could go for testing today.
Oh, so when did you say that one was going up for testing?
Monday.
Monday. Oh, for the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for the pictures.
Yeah.
This other one can probably go up today.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been talking about for a while the stocking. Well, the stocking in the bag was not Grandpa's. That's Grandma's. It's called the Lovebirds stocking, Christmas stocking. And I've been working on this, heavens, it seems like forever now. And
it's really beautiful.
Here it is. It doesn't really fit the screen. Oh, maybe I need to pull it back more.
Okay.
There we go.
Goodness, somebody's really busy on my phone.
So it actually, when you look at it, it has more of an Amish feel than it does even a Christmas feel.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it has the snowflakes here and here.
Well, if they wanted to, they can keep it up all year round.
But the more I worked on, the more a theme came out. And I've noticed for myself, I do tend to like to put hearts in my patterns. I have a couple of patterns with that theme. So you got the small row of hearts. I fell in love with, I changed it a bit, but I fell in love with this chart that I had seen somewhere.
Are these pigs?
These are pigs. This is the traditional Christmas pig pattern.
That is, my father used to collect pigs.
Yes. And this is a traditional chart. It doesn't always have the heart on the center, I don't think. Or it might. It's a traditional chart. And yeah, we used to always, when we would go somewhere, we'd get Grandpa a figurine pig. And he had it. I'm not sure what he's done with it since. For a while.
He gave you all the pigs.
I think I gave him back. I don't personally have them anymore because I took down that shelf. And
we might have asked Grandpa's permission to get rid of them.
I thought we gave him back. But yeah, because for a while I had his pig collection. And then this is representing them.
Mm-hmm. They do everything together.
So yeah, they're like inseparable. And these birds are what give it the name initially. And then as I went downward and started thinking through my options of what kind of charts I want. And a lot of charts are pulled from traditional chart influences. So
very nice.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this. Grandma's is gonna, where the red is, the green is gonna be, because you can see the green here.
And it's gonna look different. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's the same green. It looks a lot brighter on here.
Yeah, so it's kind of like candy apple green. Mm-hmm. So Grandma's is gonna be more green, and where you see the green on this pattern, that's where the red is gonna be. But yeah, this will be able to go for testing. I do want to give a forewarning to people, and it is mentioned in the pattern as well. There is a point where you do knit with 3 colors in, I think it's for a couple of rounds. It's here and here, and that's where I use the it's called, I think,
a guide of some kind.
It's called a guide, but it's a colorwork ring, and you lift it up, you put your colors in here. It's people who knit colorwork, which is 2 colors using just one hand, can do it that way as well. You separate your colors like that and you put them there. I only do it when I knit 3 colors, because when I'm doing 2 colors, I knit colorwork 2-handed. But for that part, unless, I mean, you could, I suppose, if you only knit with 1 color at a time, which there are people who do, who they'll knit, drop, knit, drop. It takes longer, but that is a way you can do it. And you can use that technique as well. You just risk maybe making your tension a little bit off. But I'm very happy with the way it took so long. I actually might have had it done earlier, but the toe and the heel and I had some arguments while I was trying to figure out how exactly I wanted to do my toe and my heel. And it took me a couple times to get it to the point that I liked it. So
very nice.
I hope you like this as much as I do. Like I said, it's a Christmas stocking, but because of the way, because of the charts I chose, I feel that it could possibly be more than that.
For decoration.
It could be decoration. And we tend to like, in our family, a very...
I mean, you do that in blue and silver and another blue maybe, you know, for the accent, and you've got a decoration. It's almost like a Delft blue, or a, what's it called? Wedgwood.
But
Which would have the white, though.
yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed knitting and designing this, and I hope you guys like as much as I do. This has been very long in the making.
It's very nice.
And I doubt this will be my last Christmas stocking that I design.
You doubt that it'll be?
Yeah, I doubt that'll be my last one, because I do enjoy Christmas stockings.
Okay. What's next?
That should be it.
We showed the tea last week. I don't know why I still have it on here.
Because you just didn't remove it.
I'm still writing on the shared story, so I forgot to say that. And we talked about the Etsy shop, so that's good. I don't think we have anything else.
No, we've tried to save this for last because
yeah.
This is... I don't usually have 2 designs ready to go out at the same time.
Right. So I guess that's basically...
It's then down to 2 for testing right now. They're coming in to replace the other 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about people for a minute. Okay.
No. I'm down because I think the only ones that are currently testing right now, and they're coming up for their due date on this coming Friday, is the Star Trek ornaments and the Bunny Love. Once those are gone, I wouldn't have had anything.
Right.
These came out, are coming out at the right time.
Okay. Right. That's... Rena, you did a couple of my shawls. I don't remember what weights they were in. If you did a fingering sock weight, or if any of my testers did a fingering sock weight, or any of my people out there who've done this shawl, could you please give me the amount of yarn you used?
They might not have measured it if...
Well, they can at least give me the size, and whether they used the full skein of yarn.
Yeah.
And if they generally, if they tested, Rena and a couple of the other people that were testing would have put down that stuff. So
one thing I do tend to do if I don't quite know, but I know it needs at least a full skein of yarn, is say the full skein.
Yeah, I do too.
And then you still have yardage on there. They're not going to use the whole amount, but it's better to have too much and too little.
Right. But if you could give me the dimensions, if you've done, if anyone who's done my shawl has the fingering sock weight version, if you could give me at the very least the dimensions, because Lovecraft is waiting on that information. I can't put the shawl pattern up until I have more detailed information. I have to go ahead and measure my shawl that I did out, but I also need, since it's also available in any weight you want, if I can do the fingering sock weight, that would be helpful. Okay?
But it is available on Etsy at this time, correct?
No, it's not on Etsy.
Oh, it's
yet.
on Etsy.
No.
Okay.
I can't see the point in putting it on Etsy until I get it fixed to what they, I don't want to have to
Etsy's not going to give you a hard time about it.
But I want the patterns to be the same.
Oh, because you're going to put in the pattern itself. Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, because that's where they want it, right, in the pattern.
Well, also, they have an area to put it in there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see about that then. It should be going up in Etsy as well, but I'd appreciate any help you can give me in that. I know Rena did several, and I know Valeria did one. So any dimensions you might have and any information you might have would be really appreciated, okay? Because I only have my information. And it's not as detailed as I need it to be, because Ravelry was a little more lenient about what you needed. So, all right. Okay, so before we leave, we don't have any house or anything like that, or health or anything like that, except you have an appointment coming up in the next 2 weeks.
No, it's next week.
Is it next week?
Yeah, it's Friday, because it's the same day that one of my patterns is released.
Okay. All right, so we want to thank everybody who commented either on YouTube or in our group. We want to thank Pat and Brittany, Looney Hiker, Rena, Leanne, Fiber Hermit, Wombat of Doom, Angela, and Kim. And I believe a few people mentioned Davina for birthday, so thank you for wishing her a happy birthday. Brittany and JD. JD, I did show Davina your birthday wish. She was absolutely thrilled. Thank you very much for thinking of her. She was ecstatic to receive it. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all we have to say about that. We are planning on podcasting again next Saturday, so that's what, the 23rd, I think it is. So until then, we wish you a safe, blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever it is that makes you happy. We hope to see you back here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 402, I think I said.
That should be correct.
And that's a wrap.
Bye.